Hello, good evening, Ritika. How do you pronounce your name? Is that Ritika or Mritika?
Yes.
Hello,
Hello.
good evening. How do you pronounce your name?
Mritika Abedin.
Ritika,
MRI.
Ritika Abidin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello, welcome to On Stage. From where are you, Ritika?
I'm from Dhaka,
Oh, from Dhaka,
Bangladesh.
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 Welcome, welcome. Good evening from the Philippines.
Good evening.
Are you familiar with Fractionat from Bangladesh? Mritika? Hello, Marina. Welcome back.
Hello!
How are you?
Walang synchronous classes today, so nakapagpahinga po.
Wow, okay. So, asynchronous ang klase. You're doing
Yeah.
asynchronous. So, that means a lot of work to do as well, no? Mm-mm.
Obra po.
But, yeah, but let's hold on to it, no? I know it's all going to be worth it. How many subjects do you have for this semester?
6 po.
Oh, just 6. Okay. So that's manageable. All right. Wonderful, wonderful. Did you have dinner already?
Snacks lang po muna.
Snacks. Oh, I hope we can share that, no? On screen. All right. Thank you very much, Marina. I'll get back to you later. I'll talk to other participants. Hello, good evening to Mayumi. Hello, Mayumi.
Hi, sir.
How are you doing?
I am good, sir.
Very good, very good.
How are you?
I'm doing fine.
That's
Coping
good.
with so the classes.
Yeah, it's difficult for everybody.
Exactly. Especially in our field, not teaching body voice and movement and stage management online is.
I'm sure
Oh
it
my
must be super stressful. Even I know for us speech and theater people, we kind of opted not to take some classes because we know how it might be ineffective seeing the circumstances.
Yes, correct. Yes, I understand that. Thank you, Mayumi. I hope everything is fine and smooth.
Thank you too. You too. Take care.
Yeah, see you later. I'd like to welcome everyone here on stage. We have Sir Florel. Hello, Sir Florel. Welcome back. Sir Florel.
Hello.
Yes, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
It makes us happy to know that you are you're becoming our subscriber here on stage. How are you doing, sir?
I actually got home from work, so I'm still fixing things.
Okay. We understand. All right, sir. I'll get back to you. I hope you can have your dinner, or you can have it, or you can eat your dinner now while waiting. And
thank you very much.
Yes. I'd like to welcome also some of my students who are already here. We have Darcy, Faith, Michael, John Michael Bakurnay. Hello. We have Darian Newman. Hello. Hi, Darcy. You're from Paranaque, right? Yes. Okay. Yes, I remember. How is your class? Sorry, Darcy, I can't hear you. Maybe you can adjust. Wala, nothing. Mm. Sige, I'll get back to you, ha?
Hello po.
Yun, there you go.
Hello
Now
po.
I can hear you.
Hello po. What was the question po?
I was asking kung how are you doing with your classes?
We're having a hard time po. Pero
Hard
still
time.
doing my best. Yes po.
Yes. Mm. Very good, no?
Yes po. Thank you po.
Yeah, I know we can all do our best with this. So this too shall pass. Did you have dinner already?
Later na lang po. Kasi kakain ko lang po.
Alright. Welcome back, Darcy. We're happy that
Thank
you're
you
here
po.
with us again for on
So happy
stage.
to see you again po.
I'll see you later.
Thank you po.
Who else is here? Oh, some of my students are here already. Hello, students. Marcos, Soiko, Joy Kizon, Jose Manuel, or Jim. Justin Dumalugdog is back with us tonight. Very good. Hello, Justin from Valencia.
Hi, Kuya.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Wow. Hello, what's that? Is that a virtual background you're using?
Yes, I just tried it.
It's a doll? It's a mannequin?
Me.
Oh, that's so cute. I hope I can learn or figure it out not to use But my background is very
Yeah.
nice. No? Care of Nanay Dessa. So,
Sorry.
sige, Justin, I'll get back to you later. See you. Hello, Miss Joanna Kwan. How are you? From where are you?
Hello, very nice to be able to join you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So I'm from Brunei.
Hello. So, are you connected with Shasti's group?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
he was the one who told me about the series of webinar. So very excited to be learning from my friends and new friends all the way in the Philippines.
That's wonderful. Are you part of Shasti's group as a performer or?
Yes. I have some performing background and I'm trying to learn how to direct. And I have a little bit of training, but it's always good to learn, I feel.
All right. That's wonderful. We are very happy to have you here, Miss Joanna. And I hope
Thank
that
you.
you enjoy the session tonight. I'll see you later.
See you.
Okay, let me check who else is with us tonight. Raymark Allen. Hello, Raymark. Raymark, can you hear me?
Yes, Kuya.
Very good. How are you?
Bye.
Did you start your classes now with or so?
Yes, Kuya. Nagbahig pa sa mga section.
Oh, so your sections are not yet properly arranged. Okay. Yeah, because North is a big school, no? We have a lot of students enrolled there, so patience lang kami. I hope you had dinner na, and so that you have energy for tonight's session. Thumbs up from Raymark. Sige, Raymark, I'll see you later. We have Jim. Hi, Jim.
Hi, sir.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
How's the connection in your place? Is it cooperating? I hope, no?
Yes, sir.
It's nice that I'm happy that you're with us tonight, Jim, and some of your classmates.
Yes, sir. Because we have to be.
You have to be. Because I asked you to be here.
Yes, sir.
And not only that, because I know that you will learn from the sessions that we're going to have.
Yes. Actually, sir, I was supposed to eat right now, but
You can eat while we'll start at 7, so
yeah,
you still have like 10-15 minutes to.
I'll just probably get my
Okay.
food now.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'll see you later. Hello,
Yes,
Josh
sir.
Puday. Hi,
Hi,
Josh.
sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
Sir, I'm great.
Very good. Mm-mm. From where are you, Josh?
Sir, I'm at our house right now. At Baguio.
Where is that?
At Baguio City, sir.
Baguio City. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this your first time joining the onstage?
Sir, this is my second time.
Okay. Welcome back to onstage. I hope that you're doing well in your classes.
Sir, thank you, sir.
How is synchronous and asynchronous doing in your school?
Sir, it's a little hard, sir.
It's a little hard. Mm. Yeah, I know. I'm also experiencing that now. I know it's difficult, but we just have to do our best and
Yes.
yeah, comply with the requirements.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Josh. I'll see you again later, Josh.
Yes, sir.
While waiting, you can have your snacks and some pika-pika.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we don't mind you guys eating, no? We wish you can have some snacks and food with you so that you have the energy for tonight's session. We hope we can. I hope I can share my food with you, no? But I can only show it at later. Okay, let me check. Us are here. Daveson Torculas. Hello, Daveson from Bohol. How are you? Long time no see, Daveson. Long time no see. Again, I am sorry, Daveson. I can't hear you. Daveson.
Okay.
Maybe it's the audio. Something's wrong with the audio, Daveson. I'll get back to you later. I'll say hi to other Boholanos like Mitch Aguilar and Dwayne. Hello, Mitch.
Hi.
Kumusta? How are you?
Fine. I've been better.
Wow,
Ikaw,
I like that. I'm doing great.
Yes.
Yeah. Now that classes have started and we're moving some projects with Yata, I'm doing great. How about you?
Here.
So busy with school. We also have Swain. Hi, Swain.
Hello, Kuya Nick.
How are you? Are you teaching in a public school?
Wala pa. Nagpa-ranking pa ko.
Okay. But the ranking was last February, right?
Actually, na-postpone na mua. Nahimo siyang, nahimo siyang virtual na. Naabtan.
Yeah, because of COVID. But I saw you helping your mother with modules.
Modules,
wow.
yes.
At least you already have that idea, no? Once you get in with Dep Ed, then you can reproduce
I realized that it's hard, I realized that it's hard
how
na.
many modules did you prepare, man, with your mother?
Like, oh my God, for like 1,000 kapin because tibok school, all schools silang i-cater. Maybe more than that. Kasi all schools silang i-cater from Yes, like from every grade level, from kinder to senior high. So,
And who? But the school covers the or covers the expenses for that, the reproduction of the module.
yes, na sila katong ilang MOOs and also sa division office mismo actually.
And that's only with your mother, that 1,000 something,
No,
or
siya
for the
ang
whole school.
for the whole division.
Oh, okay, for the whole
Yes.
division already. Okay, all right. That's
Nick,
wonderful.
I miss you.
Yeah, I miss you too, Shuen. I hope this ends soon, so that we can travel back and have our reunion. No?
Soon.
Yeah. But I'm happy to see you guys, people from Bohol. I'll see you again later. Still have like a couple of minutes for some snacks. Yeah, drink some water. I'll see you later.
Manihapon sa ta.
Go. Okay, let me check who else is here. Good evening to Florel, Angeli, Mary Maxine, Don Ranky.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Marcos, Krisha, hello.
Thank you.
Jella, hello Jella. In a couple of minutes, we are going to start our third session for the onstage project. So while waiting, again, we'd like to remind everybody that it's okay to have your food with you there, eating, and hydrate, because it's very hot. Playing in the background is our Yata song. I'd like to sing it to you, but it's not in English, so we'll wait until it's translated. Hello, Mitrika. Sorry, Ritika Abidin. Are you connected with Prakshanat? Yeah, from Prakshanat. Can you hear me? Okay, I'll get back to you, Ritika. We have with us Jerome. Yes. You're very familiar because I know that you have been with us a couple of times. No, this is the third time you're with us, right, Jerome? Sorry, I can't hear you, Jerome. Can you check your audio?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Hello, good evening.
Ayan, can you hear me na po?
It's slightly, the volume is kinda low. So I could barely hear you.
How about now, sir? Can you hear me?
Medyo mahina pa rin siya.
Hello, sir.
Ayun, there you go. Hello, how are you, Jerome?
Hello po.
This is actually your third time with Onstage.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we are so happy to have you every session. How are
I'm
you?
also looking forward to the next webinar.
Wonderful. Alright, Jerome, I'll get back to you later.
Sir.
I'm reading some of the chat, no? Miss Joanna Juan is actually having Jollibee. Jollibee is also very famous in the Philippines. Wow, Jollibee Chicken Joy. All right. We would like to ask everyone to please turn on their cameras, but still remain muted as of the moment. We'd like to see your beautiful faces. Hello, River. Good evening, River. How are you? nice to have you here. I hope you have a great time tonight. Hello, Odessa. Hanis. Hello, Hanis. It's nice to see you again. I cannot hear you. Okay. Hello, Eliza. Is that Eliza or Eliza Season? Am I pronouncing it correctly? Hello, is it Eliza or Eliza?
Eliza po.
Hello, Eliza. From where are you?
Baguio po.
Baguio. Is this your first time joining us with On Stage?
Yes po.
Yes. And where did you learn about On Stage project?
Our mentor po, Sir Florel.
Okay, Sir Florel. Thank you, Sir Florel, for spreading the news about On Stage. We're happy to have you here, Eliza. Looking forward to your participation tonight. I'll get back to you later. Claire Divine is also with us tonight. Hello, Claire.
Hey, Nikki. I'm
You're
eating.
You're eating, yes.
Sorry.
That's fine. Continue.
Thank you.
Okay, see you later. Good evening and welcome, Krisha K. Hi, Kayo. How are you? Maxine. Hello, Maxine. The two Maxines of my class. Maxine Ting and Maxine Abarquez.
Hello, sir.
Hello, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, sir. Sir.
Hello. I hope you have eaten your dinner already. Hello, Mall. Mall and Shara. Hello.
Hi, Nikki.
Hi, sir.
Hello, Sir Gardy. Sir Gardy is with us.
Dali. Sige. Maymay.
Pati Maymay.
Adoni.
Hi, Nikki.
Hi, Odoni. These are people from Bohol, guys. Maymay and Odoni and Sir
Saan ang
Gardy.
volume nito?
The one and only Lotgardo Luza Laban.
That's just the one. Nasa malaking
Mr. Impresario. Legend.
Legend talaga.
Sir Gardy ata, chika tayo mamaya. Hello, DK. Welcome.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, I'll be back. I'll just get something from outside.
That's fine. Just you can turn off your camera and then stay muted. In a couple of minutes, we are going to start. We're just waiting for the others to be admitted in the room so that we have a good number of people tonight. Who else? I have already called out all the names. No, yeah, we have a representative from Bud's Theater. Hello. Hello, Bud's Theater. All right. Alright, everybody, good evening. We are all set and we are ready to start our session tonight. This is actually the third session for the Onstage project. I hope you are all doing well, and I hope that you are also ready and have the energy to learn and participate in our session tonight. All right, can I see a thumbs up from everybody if you are all ready? Thumbs up, thumbs up. Yes, yes, yes. Ah, very good. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Good evening once again, and welcome to Onstage Project. This is the online platform for us theater people. Again, this is supported by the Japan Foundation. Tonight, we are going to feature one of Bohol's youth leader in celebrating Bohol's heritage. But before that, I'd like to welcome all of you, and I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Miki Simafranca. I am a member of the Youth Advocates through Theater Arts. I'm also, I was involved in the Asian Youth Theater Festival, previously as a youth ambassador, and now working as a production manager. All right, so we will introduce each other later, but for now, we would like to recognize the participation of the following schools and organizations from the Philippines and other parts of Asia, such as Bangladesh, Brunei, Malaysia, and Singapore. I'd like to read them to you. So we have Prakshanat. We have Artista Silimaniana. We have, I'm sorry, we're there you go. We have DepEd Bataan National High School. Of course, we have participants from Yata, Teatro Regina, Baguio City National High School. Welcome. The SPA New Society National High School, the La Salle College of St. Benil, Dulang UP, Department of Theater, University of Rajshahi, Bangladesh, Kota Tarlac National High School, Brunei Amateur Dramatic Society. All right, there are a lot of participating schools and organizations tonight, so I'm sorry if I am not able to read them all, but we'd also like to welcome our special guest tonight. We have a guest from the Japan Foundation Manila, and we would like to thank the Japan Foundation Manila for being instrumental in making Onstage Project happen, because they are supporting us with this project. Of course, we have guests also from Buds Theater Singapore. Thank you. We have guests from Kasing Sining Bohol and the Youth Advocates through Theater Arts. All right, so it's time to get to know each other. All right, so we will be introducing ourselves, okay? But I'd like you to, we will do it in a different way. Now, we'll use the chat box for now, okay? For the first round of getting to know each other. I'd like us all to think of a local plant or a flower or a tree, okay, that can be found in your community or your country. Okay, a local plant, a tree, or a flower. Okay, then you can write it down using our chat box. Say, for example, my name is Nikki and I choose the Nara tree. So, Nikki, the Nara tree. Okay? Everybody, are you ready? So, the chat box, ready? Five, four, three, two, one, and go. Again, either a flower, a plant, or a tree. Okay? That is locally known. Okay? In your community or in your country. Mall, the makahiya. Ah. Joy. So fast, it's so fast. Jerome, the brave, mighty pine tree. Aisha, the aloe vera. Wow. Shu, wait, okay, I'll just try to scroll up not to read some of your answers. Joanna, simper. Ah, is that simper or okay? I'm curious what that looks like.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a simple. It's a yellow flower.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a yellow flower. I will Google that one later so that I can have uh, a fixed image of that. Thank you for sharing your answer. Shuain, the bajang. Ah, the famous bajang. The trending bajang. Marapait flower. Ah, we have the marapait flower. All right. So this time, I'd like us to embody, no, and become that plant or tree or flower that we have chosen to write in our chat box. Okay. I'd like you to take the shape or form of that plant, flower, or tree and strike a pose in three, two, one, action. Nara. Okay. Freeze. Just freeze. Just freeze. The others. We would like to ask the others to turn on their cameras. Hello, Ezra. There you go. Beautiful plants, trees, and flowers. Thank you for sharing that one. Okay, last one. Last one. Okay. Think of a local animal. Okay. In your place, in your community, or in your country. Okay? Now, think and recall the sound of that animal. Okay? And then all together, we are going to have or create, we're going to create a zoo zoom or a zoom zoo. Ah, either. Okay, I think I like the sound of zoom zoo. Okay? So, I'd like you to take the form of that animal and produce the sound, okay? And sustain that sound. Okay, maybe like 10 seconds. Okay, sustain that sound. Like if mine is uh, marang. It's a native cat in Negros. Like that. All right. All together, let's create our Zoom Zoo. Okay, everybody, unmute, unmute, because we'd like to hear your animal sounds. Okay, unmute, unmute, unmute.
Oh no.
Oh, na may
This
animal.
is bad.
There's an animal now. Okay, let us all together create our Zoom Zoo
Most
in
annoying
five,
animal
four, three, two,
in your
one,
online class.
go!
Oh.
Wow! Very wonderful, wonderful, guys. Thank you very much for sharing animals, no? The animals that you have in your locality, and we hope that someday we'll be able to um, see these animals and the plants or trees and flowers that are seen in your place. Okay. All right, so we will proceed now with describing to you what is on stage. I know many of us are already familiar, you know, but for those who are new to this session, we'd like to share the idea of Onstage Project. Onstage Project is an online webinar series that targets youth arts leaders, equipping them with fundamental skills, ways of devising theater, and using theater as a vehicle for change. It allows them or us to improve their own praxis, leveling the playing field across Asia and establishing new standards to empower the next generation of Asian artists. And we are part of that community. Okay, and here are some of our partners: the Youth Advocates through Theater Arts, Buds Theater, Freem Theater, Gumbo Theater Group, and Sakai International Community Arts, and of course the Japan Foundation Manila. And thank you very much for supporting us. Okay, before we proceed, I'd like to share some few reminders for this webinar. Please keep your audio muted or on mute unless asked by the speaker or the moderator. Okay? Did you get that? Show us thumbs up, please. All right, thank you very much. The next is please open your chat box for notes. You may also ask questions here. Okay, so some of the instructions will be typewritten by our secretariat or our team. So please open your chat box at all times. Okay, and for any concerns, you may privately message any of the onstage staff. All right, I hope those reminders are clear. So we are all ready to proceed. Okay, so I'd like to introduce to you our speaker tonight, a very good friend of mine and very dear to me. Okay, he will be talking about sharing, his experience and journey with celebrating Bohol's heritage. Youth theater artists map the wealth of their island through performance and creative projects. So, allow me to read his bio. Okay. Our speaker tonight is a actor, dancer, and director, choreographer, facilitator, heritage advocate, and a registered electrical engineer. Wow. Trained in the theater arts at the Philippine High School for the Arts, he started as a dancer choreographer in the heritage-based festivals in Pangasinan. When he moved to Bohol, a home province of his mother, he became active in school productions and in cultural projects of casting singing established by the cultural development specialist and impresario Lotgardo Labad, dedicated to the mobilization of arts and heritage for rehabilitation and sustainable development. As one of Kasing Sining's pool of cultural workers and theater artists, he involved himself in cultural development programs in Bohol, researching the province's heritage traditions in the performing arts, especially the Boholano Moro Moro Linambay and Hugos, in conducting arts for healing workshops in heritage towns impacted by the Bohol earthquake, and in acting in Kasing Sining's theater productions, most notably as Francisco de Gohoy in Marianito Luspos Dagon sa Huyohoy the musical. Fluent in the native languages of Tagalog, Ilocano, and Bolano, he is a pioneering leader of Tabok, a Region 7 or Central Visayas network of theater groups, and he is also the Central Visayas representative in the National Committee on Dramatic Arts, Committee on Dramatic Arts of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, a dear friend of mine, our speaker tonight, Mr. Jerry David Aguilar. Shall we give our speaker a round of applause? Yeah, you can shake your hands. All right, Jerry, you may now take the floor.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be part of Onstage. So now I just want to ask you, how are you now in your homes after classes? So please write if you can do a pause on your screen, why not? But you can also type on the chat box if you want. How are you? Yeah, I think that is the one of the questions that needs to be asked now. Okay, So, okay, next, I just want to have an overview of where are our participants coming from. So I would like to request if you can type, where are you from in the chat box, please. Okay, I'll be reading some of your comments. So I've heard that we have some participants from Bangladesh, from Singapore. So hello, good evening to you. I hope you have the same, is it good evening now or good morning in your place? Okay, so we have someone from Baguio, Paranaque. Yes, having a hard time during the classes but still fighting. Yes, that's what we do. We need to continue. So in the Bisaya, it's padayon. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of participants coming from NCR and also some in the Visayas. So hello. Yes, so I'll continue. I'd just like to ask if I know this is awkward talking to you in on screen without real audiences. So I just might like to let's try to relax. Using your arms or hands, make sure that it's disinfected. Try to tap your face slowly. So you gotta just to make the blood flow in your faces. So can I see everyone tapping their faces? Okay, can't see you. Wait. Okay, tap your faces and slowly massage it. Massage. Okay, and then slowly shake your shoulders. Shoulders. Then try to lean on your left. Try to lean on your left. Where's your left? And then to your right. Are you seeing your faces, Nindot? You look so good doing the same movement. Okay, then try to stretch your neck up. And then try to say, ah.
Hello.
Okay, so I know I don't really look great in that video, but I just would like to set the tone that this is not there is no big pressure for you to look good in camera. Let's talk like we are friends, and if you have any questions or clarifications, just put it in the chat box, okay? So be relaxed, and this is just a kwentuhan, a storytelling of what we do in Bohol. And I'm happy to see a lot of familiar faces and joining this webinar. So that's it. I think in the registration form, I've asked if for you to bring or to have a pencil pen and a bond paper. Do you have it? Do you have it? Bond papers and pens. Yes. Okay. So what we will do is just very fast. It's actually the continuation of the activity of Nikki, but a little, we'll add something more to it. Okay. So one, imagine, so since this is a theater, I'm a theater artist. So let's just imagine that we are at a certain activity or event in our life. For example, one is in a wedding. Okay, try to imagine that you're in a wedding. What are you in that wedding? Are you the bride? Are you the groom? Or are you just there to witness your friend's marriage? So now, I would like you to write on that paper, or maybe in the chat box if you don't have, what are you in that wedding? Okay? Are you the bride? Are you the groom? Are you the flower girl? Are you the priest? So sige, I'll give you 2 minutes to write. Okay, just write it on the bond paper. Okay, 2 minutes. I'm also writing. Please write down, or if you can do, chat it, put it on the chat box. Okay, if you're finished, you can present it sa ato ang on our screens. Can you see mine? Okay, mine is friend of the groom. Some said that they're bridesmaid. Again, I am a wedding and I am a bystander, a wedding destroyer. Okay, so can I see other bridesmaid? Again, we have bridesmaid. So what are you in a wedding? So I'm seeing a priest. Okay, a priest. What about yours, Wayne? I am the organizer. Okay, what are you? Okay, so now what we will do is let's try to imagine that if we're that person, let's try to imagine his emotion. What is the story? So let's try to show our facial expressions, okay, on screen. Let's show it. May I request everyone to turn on their camera so that I can see your beautiful faces. Okay, if you're at the wedding and you're the priest or the organizer or the groom, can I show your facial reaction in an exaggerated way? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, then hold for a minute. Just pause. Okay, I'm seeing different faces. Go Floral, you can do that. Go DK, go Shane, go Joanna, go Mayumi. Okay, I'm seeing the characters through their facial expressions. Okay, Darcy, go Darcy. Go Shane. Yes. Okay, so I'm seeing their faces. Okay, now let's try to now after a happy event, let's try to go to a funeral, a very sad funeral. It's the death of a very close relative or a friend who's very dear to you. And then let's try to turn on our microphones. Let's turn on our microphones. I know, I know maybe your neighbors or your mom or your parents or even your son and daughters will think that you're crazy for doing this. But let's just try for this for this time. Okay. So in a funeral, what would you hear? Okay. So are there crying ladies? Are there cards playing with people playing cards? Something like that, or a reunion. So may I hear those reactions? I request everyone to unmute their microphones, and then let's try to hear what is going on in a funeral. Okay, in 5, 4,
Iyak
3,
ako.
2, 1, go.
Why'd you die? No. Oh no. Oh no. Oh
And freeze.
no.
Freeze.
Oh no.
Okay, so freeze. Okay, may I see those faces? I'll be looking at the different the grid.
Nandiyan tadlong ganyan karon kid.
Okay. Okay. So okay, relax now. Relax. Okay. So next, I would like those are events, no? In your country or in your place, we always have festivals, right? So we have sometimes a fiesta for our saints or fiesta for a certain god or a spirit. Now, I would like you to show me what are the different dances that you can see in your community when there's a festival. Okay, so I would just like to see a certain pose that you want to do, a pose of, for example, for us in Bohol, we have the kuradang. So I would request the kuradang people from Bohol to do the pose, and then some other can also follow if you don't, if you want to. But may I request everyone to show me what are their folk dances. Okay, pause lang, pause. Ingana, a pause. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, and pause. Post them in pose. Okay, a folk dance or a dance in your country or place with the facial expression, of course. Okay. Okay, and relax. Then there you go. So ayun, thank you for participating with that weird activity. But bear with me, it will make sense later on what did we do. Okay, so I will start with my presentation. So celebrating Bohol's heritage. So I'm Jerry David Aguilar. I am an engineer and a cultural worker artist from Bohol. Okay, next please. Okay, wait. Okay, so what do I do as a cultural worker and an artist? So these are some of my major areas of my work. So one is I'm an actor, director, and company manager of our theater group here in Bohol. Same Kasing Sining. I'll explain the name later. And second, I'm also a facilitator. I facilitate workshops, animator, and organizer of community development works. Then I also do research for in terms of heritage objects, icons, more on the cultural mapping side. Yes, and then fourth is I'm currently now as the youth development consultant of the province of Bohol. So I'm trying to integrate arts into this work. So yeah. So what is kasing sining? So kasing sining in the Cebuano dialect, kasing-kasing means heart. And sining in Tagalog dialect, it means art. So when we combine both of those words, it's kasing sining, and it literally translates to arts with a heart, or heart with an art. So the funny story about this is a group of cultural workers and artists are going to decide to conduct a psychosocial therapy using the arts. So what the team did was we were thinking, what is the story of what is it that we are doing? So sorry, next siya. What it after that was the word kasing sining was born. So just a description, kasing sining is a community-based, semi-professional repertory theater company aimed at the development of arts and culture through the use of theater. So most of our members are students, but we also have young professionals and also professionals and who are part of the group. So we have teenagers, adults, and a little bit some of some senior citizens, pero they don't move like senior citizens because we are actually more on the movement theater. So our members are really skillful at moving. So the group was founded by PETA artist leader Sir Lutgardo Labad. He's also he's also here as a participant. So maybe you can see his face or profile picture in that. So the group was a reborn from the Teatro Bulanon Ensemble, which was established way back in 1997. So the past productions that they did were really based on heritage. So you'll know more on what is the influence of Sir Gardy's work to my birth also as a cultural worker and an artist. So next. So here are the core values of the group. First, we believe that it should be the performers and creators should be well-rounded, and we should create original plays that utilizes the Boholano and other national languages. And next is it is rooted in our local history and culture. Then it should convey and reflect the spirits of the Boholano people, demonstrate the protection of the environment, unleashing creativity and artistic excellence, empowering and raising quality of life, and strengthening group and community collaboration and solidarity. I know it's quite a lot. These are the values that we are holding as members, but you will see some of these values in our works later when I present them to you. So some of our major activities is that we always create plays. Second is we have theater training, and the next is community outreach. Okay, so major components of our cultural development work. I know this would sound like a little bit of strat plan according to Rojan, but this is what we usually do. First, we establish really the group that it should have a sense of the family, the the well-organized organization. Then next is we do research, and then community immersion, engagement, to know what is really happening on the grounds, and to do training, to equip ourselves, and then to create, and then you devise new works, and we go back to the communities and present it, and we document, and slowly now in the new normal, we're trying to migrate some of our performance into a virtual style, but still in the interactive mode. The next is the evaluation and programming. So yes, earlier in the registration form, I think I've also asked if you can bring with you an item or an object that is being passed from generations to generations in your family. So I would like to see those objects. Can we present those objects that we've identified? For example, a rosary, a cup. Can you show it on the camera if you have prepared? Yes, I'm seeing from River a ring. Okay. Again, our other participants, may I see what object do you have? Yes, Ma'am Judy. What is that? Okay, can you show me your object? Or maybe find an object that is valuable to you. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes for those who doesn't have it yet. So, Ma'am Judy, can I ask what's that? Can you put it on the chat box? What is that? Yes, Miss Krisha, that's a pen and a paper. Mr. Raymark, it's a Bible, right? And then Sir Carl is what? It's a shell. Wow. Okay, can I see other? It's a jewelry box. Ah, wow. What do you call it, Sir Carl, in your place? Put it on the chat box, please. Okay. Pusong? Ay.
This is Budyong.
Budjong, yes, budjong. Okay, thank you. What about yours, Jerome? It's a necklace. Okay. Necklace and a pendant. Justin, it's a pen, I guess. Okay, I'm seeing, what is that, DK? It's a fish.
Yes, it's a fish. Tapos,
It's a fish.
and nilalagyan namin ng kandila minsan dito.
Okay.
Para hindi matumba.
Okay, so Maxine, it's a tab, right? Valuable to you. Floral, it's is this the one where they put water and it makes the sound of the birds? No, what's that? It's a flute. So now, with those objects that you're holding, try to look at it and observe its appearance. What can you see? Can you look at it? Then try to touch it. Touch that object. And then try to smell it if you can. And try to smell it. How does it smell? Okay, for those, maybe some can actually taste it. If you have if someone has brought something that can be tasted, you can also taste it. Yes, Miss Darcy said it's a script of my first. Okay. So now, after sensing that object or thing, I would like you to remember, what are the stories about the jewel Bible, the flute, the bujong? Try to think and then write it on your paper if you have. Just this will be used as your guide later. So to me by my dad. It was from his grandfather, something like that. So try to identify, try to write it down if you have some notes on what are the stories that revolves around it. Okay. After that, so next is, now we know the physical appearance of it and the story. Let's try to, with using our fingers only. Let's try to imitate the object, the shape of the object. Okay, for example, if it's a ring, you can use your fingers to show that it's a ring. Or hand, okay, you can show me through the screen. Let's show our other participants. How will you show it? Through your hands. Okay, try to imitate the shape. Okay, it's okay, you can show it. There's no need to be ashamed of it. Okay, show it. I'll be looking at some of our screens. Yes. Cross. Yes, Krisha. Okay, Bible. Fiona Bell. Justin. Yes. Okay. Okay, now relax. Okay. Now, let's just try to maybe write. Maybe I'll be asking some of you later if who would like to share. The next activity is this. Now that we know the physical appearance and the story about it, and then we imitated using our hands, now let's try to, for example, let's imagine that if I am the watch, how would I look like and how would I talk? Okay. If I am that object, how would I look like physically, and how would I talk? For example, I am a watch. And I am gonna talk like a watch. Okay. So if you can do it on your, I want to see some of our participants do it. Try to imitate again the object using our body. You can adjust to your space if you would need some more. Okay. So using your hands, stretch, and then try to, for example, a wall clock. A wall clock. Okay, some are cross, some are shells, some are Bible, some are flute. So now let's try in muted in muted microphones. Let's try to say I am a blank. Can you say it on your own? I am a fish.
I am a shell.
Okay, I say it. I am a clock. Okay. Next instruction is, how long have you been? I have been existing for.
I have been existing for 30 years.
Wow. So we have some objects that has been existing for 30 years. Okay. And now let's. Okay, we still have some. Okay, now let's try to relax. Relax. We have karaoke players. Okay, so I would like to give a round of applause for those who participated. So thank you for sharing with me. Although I didn't catch some of it, but maybe on the chat box, the story, I am a ring and I have been existing for this long. You can put it on the chat box and I'll try to read it. Or if you like, you can actually share it later after our lecture interaction if you're ready. Okay, so just let me know through the chat if you're ready to tell me something about that stuff. Okay. So I'll go to my lecture again. So this one is actually heritage. My discussion now is about heritage, but what we did is how can we find the value or connection with an object? So that will be the essence of my sharing this evening. It's about connecting with objects, connecting with people, connecting with stories, something like that. And how do we bring it to another level? Okay, so heritage. So heritage for me is anything from the past that is still of value for present and future generations. Well, some have defined it that heritage should be existing for 50 years. And but yeah, 50 years. So that would classify it as a heritage object, heritage site, so something like that. So we have three major domains of the the heritage. So one is the natural, and second is the tangible, and the third is the intangible. So for the natural heritage, if you've noticed earlier in the activity that Nikki gave you, what are the what are your favorite, what are you as a tree? So most of the, what do you call this, specimen or species that you mentioned are part of the natural heritage, being part of the nature itself. So for example, a river is part of a natural heritage, a sea is part of the natural heritage, the mangroves, the ecosystem, the animals. The next is, it falls under the cultural heritage. One is the tangible, something that you can hold. So that's what we did in our activity earlier. I've asked you to present some object that is valuable to you, and another, what do you call this? Another requirement was that it was being passed from generation to generation. So with that, I think I've seen some shells, I've seen some rings, I've seen some jewelry boxes. So I think if that existed for a lot of years, 50 years already, that can be considered as tangible. And in that tangible, it can be classified into two types. So one is the movable, which is the ring, something that you can hold, and then the immovable, or the buildings or the sites, something like that, that is made by human. Okay. Next is the intangible. If you've noticed earlier, we've also discussed about I've given you the what are the emotions or the sounds in a festival, in a funeral, in a wedding. So sometimes maybe in our funeral ceremonies, as from our different countries, I think we have different kinds of reactions on how we behave at that certain. So that can be considered as heritage on how we behave at certain activities or life events. So those are the three major domains of heritage. So the natural, the tangible, and intangible. So actually there are more subdomains, but we'll just focus on this three for this guide of the next our next lectures. Next is the values that it has. It is a source of life, the source of livelihood, identity as human, and then meaning and direction. Because I believe that, for example, our Japanese friends have different heritage and customs that can be considered as their culture and identity. If you see this kind of way of interaction or even greeting, you can say that, that's very Japanese or Chinese or very Asian in a sense, okay? And then heritage can also give you a meaning and direction. Okay, so there you go. We'll be proceeding. So what we're also doing in Kasing Sining is, with most of our works that are based on our heritage, we always consider the inclusion of the people, and we wanted it to be a theater of the people, for the people, by the people. So theater of the people, I think it came from generations ago, this knowledge of theater for the people. It came from Ma'am Cecile to down to Sir Gardi as one of Bohol and some of the other leaders in the regions, and now being passed on to this next generation. I think Nikki and some of the Yata people are also aware of the for the people, theater of the people.
Yes to that.
Yes. So theater and drama, so that we know that in the people's theater, it should be in the local language. It is something that our people can easily understand. And then next, it is something that they can relate to because it is based on the culture of the people. And second is it reflects the life needs and dreams of these people. It unleashes the power, the creative power of these people. Because one also important idea that we as cultural workers and artists and facilitators do is that we believe that each one of our participants has his own, her talent that she needs to unleash. You can be good at writing and acting and dancing or even all of the art forms. So we're trying to facilitate that discovery of their artistic self. Next, the theater, people's theater also, it should be created by the people, created for the people, and created with the people. So we are really working with the community and not yeah, something like that. Yeah. Okay, so next. So I'll just give you a short context of why we do this work here in the Philippines and in Bohol. So one is the Philippine historical context. Before and we were sorry, I think yeah, we have an archipelagic landscape. So we have different big islands, small islands and big islands, but three major islands are the Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And we have 110 million people. We've been colonized by the Spanish and then also by the Americans, and the war erupted with the Japan here in Bohol. We are also affected in the Philippines in general, but we also have accounts here in Bohol. Then recent historical events, we had the martial law, EDSA People Power Revolution. So this all shaped our context of the what is Philippines. So there is no, for us, some of the from the regions of the Philippines, we really can't define what a Filipino is that could reflect in that could be seen in the whole Philippines. So we have different cultures, different meaning of identities. Okay. Next is that where they have a democratic republic, presidential system of government. So major occupations that we have: farming, fishing, industries, and we have 187 major languages. So again, next we'll go to Bohol, my home province, my island province now. So located in the central Philippines. So if you could imagine a standing human, the map of the Philippines, Bohol would be at the stomach area. Okay. So located at the central Philippines, 10th largest island in the Philippines, mostly predominantly Catholic, and we have a lot of natural heritage treasures. For example, the Chocolate Hills, you can search them if you haven't seen them yet. Tarsier and cultural milestones like the old churches that were built by the Spaniards and old houses. We also have the Lobok Children's Choir, the Lobok River, and in Bohol also, they were able to document the first sandugo between or the blood compact between a Spanish colonizer and a local. Then we also had the Dagohoy Rebellion, one of the longest revolt in the country waged against the Spanish rule. So we'll be talking about it. President Carlos P. Garcia as a Boholano president. So celebrating national heritage, because we have a lot of definition of heritage, history. We as theater people in Bohol use that to try to amplify what is history, what happened to some of our heroes using theater. So here we did it in a cockpit theater. If you can see at your down right, that is a cockpit, but we've created a play about Andres Bonifacio, just to show our locals that also about who Andres Bonifacio is as a hero. So yan. Here you can see that we've used the arena type and built a proscenium type of theater where there are 3 levels of stages inside the cockpit arena. And we've had a lot of actors. Some are from different schools of the special program in the arts. I think every night we have 100 actors performing and joining us in that cockpit theater. And we've had lots of audiences coming from different schools. And we've had a lot of good feedbacks. Here are some of the pictures. You can see the audiences that we had. It's because here in Bohol, we really don't have a formal theater space. I mean a formal, like for example, a block box, something like that. So next is celebrating Boholano heritage values of faith, resilience, and solidarity. So yeah, what happened in October 15, 2013 was that we were shaken by an earthquake, and it damaged most of our cultural sites, heritage sites. Our churches, our monuments were destroyed by the earthquake. But still, I think what's important about that time was the people felt disappointed about. I felt sad about the the ruins, but they also had the stories with these ruins. And you can see how it affected their lives with these churches, with these monuments, how they grew up with it. So I think that also contributed to the heritage that the Boholanos have. So with that, we've done a lot of arts for healing projects in makeshift tents, been doing arts workshops, giving them theater workshops, writing their emotions, painting their emotions, something like that. So here you can see we don't have social distancing at that time. That was in 2013, and I miss this kind of interaction already. So yeah, that's it. And we've also had this 600 what they call this 600 cast of performers to commemorate what we did as Boholanos to overcome the effects of the earthquake. So we've had the church sector, the students, the professionals, they all joined in this big celebration. It's a musical, and a lot of people have been crying that yes, it really showed that the Boholanos, even though we've had this great trial, we always keep our faith, and that in itself is one aspect of heritage. It's the values of the belief system. Okay. Next is the Celebrating Boholano Heritage Values of Environmental Protection and Care for Children. So what we believe here in Bohol, because as much as possible, we would like to maintain, we would like to educate our young people that Bohol is the only home that we have, and we need to protect it as it is part of our culture, our identity as Boholanos. Bohol wouldn't be if you saw the chocolate hills, it would be easily identified as Bohol. So what we did was to educate people about the importance of it through different workshops, performances done in the community. Yes, also our Hugos, celebrating Boholano local cultural heritage. So this was a research being done also by Kasing Sining with Sir Gardy. This is every Easter Sunday, there's a performance of a singing angel coming down and taking off the veil from Mother Mary. So we consider this as a celebration of the heritage because this has been existing way back from the time of the Spaniards. So up until now, it's still ongoing with some of innovations, inclusions of technology, trains, LED walls, something like that. Before it was just a tower of wood or bamboo. So we also have Pastores and Daegon. So these are Christmas carol traditions of Bohol. So it's being sung in the local language, and here in Bohol, I know we have the caroling in Luzon, or little children or adults singing outside your house, reminding you that this is already Christmas. We also have that kind of tradition here in Bohol. So we call it the Pastores and Daegon. And yes, this is the first production that I did with the group of Sir Gardy, back in 2014. It's celebrating the Boholano folk heritage because in the islands we have lots of stories about this island named How. And How is, in the local language, it's a monitor lizard. So we tried to incorporate the story of the Sirenas or the mermaids with a monitor lizard falling in love with each other, and something in a musical and we call this musical and movement. So we've invited one community of young performers have performed for this. Okay, so these are the process. If you can see, we've always I think we've stayed for a month with them. I know it's too long, but we've been visiting them for every weekend, weekdays for the rehearsals. Okay, next is we have the Sandugo. It's a celebration of the historical heritage. So we've done, there has been a lot of issues and ideas on what is the Sandugo. So we've used theater to also show that it wasn't just about being submissive and friendly, something like that. There were oppositions, but it showed that Boholanos are kind and compassionate in terms of accepting all of this, accepting these foreigners, and Yeah. Okay, then next. So building sustainable communities through community theater and local culture. So that's, I think this will be the biggest chunk of my talk for this evening, because yeah, I'll continue. The context behind the Batan River Ecocultural Development Program. So we have very good, very beautiful rivers here in Bohol. And what was missing was that we are not seeing the people in it. So that's why one of this program was also created. So here you can see the tarsier. It is endowed with the natural beauty of nature as well as the richness of its biodiversity. So again, you can see the falls, the tarsier. Now I think they've been peaceful for the past 6 months since there's no tourist visiting these areas. So the mangroves, we have lots of mangroves here in Bohol. So there's the data, you can just read it. And endangered species, we also have lots of it. So the Batan River, its biodiversity and social, cultural, historical values. So imagine a very long river tying up a lot of towns. And could you imagine if there's no story about it and what are the different traditions that are being done in that river? So we tried to surface that up and come up with stories and make the river more alive with arts and culture. Colorful and rich, unique historical and cultural heritage. One can relate names, place, and events with geography. So one local historian said that when you take a cruise to Abatan River, you will be retracing the path traveled by our Boholano ancestors. So it was this river, and also Lobok River has its longest history. And I think most of the churches are built in these areas because it's accessible through the sea. Okay. Okay, on to next. Wait. Okay, so here's just a map. So I'll just go through this. These are the different towns that were involved at that time. The Batan Village Main Center. So at the river, we've had performances by the river theater. So involving the communities that are in that area. So I think we have five towns who have their own cultural collectives composed of young people and adults performing about their stories and their history. So we've also invited some of our Asian guests in Likha Asia. So these are, I think, we have Mr. Bumin and Mr. Agong from Indonesia. So this is the birth of the Bukag. So Bukag stands for Bolanong Kabilin Atong Gibahandi, or also it means the Boholano heritage that we treasure. So here is the some of what is it? Bolanong Kabilin, yeah, is community-based eco-cultural development program which aims to develop one sustainable and creative Boholano communities anchored on drawing and from Bohol's rich ecological and cultural heritage, creating appreciation and awareness of its significance and utilizing it for enhancing quality of life through community-based creative industries performance. So the concept of it is that the thing with doing workshops in communities is that it's always it's a one time. So with this, we tried to develop the program and have a continuing activities so that we can actually observe how these communities grow with the help of arts and culture. So yeah, so the goals of the Bukag is one is to promote protection of and deeper appreciation of ecological and cultural heritage, creative and innovative artists inspired by their cultural traditions, the growth of community-based creative industries as potential source of revenues, and strengthening community solidarity and collaboration. So here in Bukag, or the Bolanong Kabilin Atong Gibahandi program, we really wanted to use that to, one is to really preserve what they have, but preserving what they have through doing it in performances that can be passed on by by performances and people watching it. And then also from that, because here in Bohol we have lots of tourists, and we wanted to incorporate this in tourism circuits so that aside from the natural heritage sites that they've been visiting, they can also see the performances, the cultural aspect, and the stories of the people of Boholano. And it also promotes this unity in the community. The scope of implementation, we have 5 plus 3 more towns. We've created cultural collectives. So here's the, what do you call this, the program that we have, the activities, the 7 training modules. So very important is the social preparation for them to know, for them to know what would they contribute to this project, who are the different sectors that are being involved, the church, the government, the education sector, the community, and even the artists of it, the place and cultural workers. We really need to, we had to have a sit down meeting with them and present that this is the project. So are you in with this? And how can we work together to make this program more sustainable? Then after that, we believe that theater and the allied arts are very essential in teaching a certain concept or value or the importance of their heritage. So we've immersed them in theater, creative writing, creative movement. So we've given them a lot of ideas on the different art forms. And then next, after being trained, they're also being given a training on disaster risk reduction because this was after the earthquake. So we've seen that our community should also be resilient, and they could use the arts and culture on how to respond if something happens. For example, now we've seen that maybe I'll explain it later what the communities are doing despite this pandemic. The next is we have on-site eco workshops. We train them so that we train them to teach in their local community so that the knowledges that they acquired will be also shared to their friends and constituents. Yeah. The next is the Heritage Youth Camp or the Bibo Bohol. I mean, every town has 30 participants joining, and they undergo this wilderness classroom. They have lecturers. They go inside caves. They go kayaking and know the different species and the value and the importance of the mangrove system and the river and the stories with the cultural historians giving lectures about it. So it's a total experience for some of the youth, and it's a tiring day. But at the end of the end of the camp, they have a what do you call this? It's like amazing race. So we have questions, we have games for them. So next is the creativity workshops rooted in Boholano culture. And then next is training on creative industries. So how do we package all of this? How can we sell what we have? Or is it worth, do we consider of selling it? Because, so we've had to undergo those kind of conversations before we actually came up with their product that they can sell. So next is the festival and launch of creativity and creative industries. Okay, so our module content, it always has the planned syllabus, lecture and workshops, permanent facilitators, and constant set of participants on site, because we wanted this to have a continuing what do you call this? Continuity, because it will be hard if we have different participants per activities module. So these are their outputs on developing their heritage map or tourism circuit in their own communities. So we've had Tagbilaran Heritage featuring their ancestral houses, ancestral stories, their stories of the town. Then Tumaribohok featuring their eco-cultural side. So we've had a lot of, we have 10 designs of this. Yeah, so we've expanded to 3 more new towns, but now we've identified that we should, aside from just teaching them artistic skills, we should also assist and facilitate them in trying to form the organization for sustainability. Because what we've noticed is if we don't form a group after the trainings, they always tend to, okay, I'm gonna go abroad, or I'm gonna continue with my studies, and there's no what do you call this a bonding factor between them. So organizational strengthening, strategic planning, and org planning for legal status, product enhancement and development workshop. How do they improve, or how can they compete in the market if they have this product? That training and promotions and marketing, audience development, value chain analysis, and pilot testing. So here are some of the pictures of that groups. Tawag sa Bantayan. It was performed. This also showcasing the baskets, the river, the we call this the Nipa. Okay, so I have a short video of Bukag. So Ona, please show the video.
Nagsimula ito lahat sa isang parang pangarap lang. Paano kaya natin magagawa na ang mga Boholano ay kumikita na sila pero napapakita nila kung anong meron sila. Hindi yung kailangan pang gumawa pa ng bago. Dapat mapakita natin kung ano ang Bohol. Hindi lang dahil sa lugar, kundi dahil sa tao. Ano pa ang ibang pwedeng puntahan ng mga turista dito sa Bohol na bukod sa may Chocolate Hills sa Lobok River? Siyempre ang mga tao. At ang mga tao palagi nagbabago.
Arts, Culture, and Heritage Hub, which would like to be mainstream to the ecotourism destination of the province of Bohol, being Bohol positioning itself as an ecotourism destination. So the tourists will not only come here for the traditional Chocolate Hills, Panglao, and Lobok, but if you tour around Bohol, they have a lot to see. And we would like the community to be part of the tourism industry in the province to have a real inclusivity of economic growth. The culture and heritage that the Boholanos are very proud of. We can also be very proud to let them or to show them what we have and what we are being a Boholano.
Siguro mas magandang ilagay siya sa pag-iisip na parang kung gusto mo talaga makita yung kultura ng isang lugar, kausapin mo yung tao, makipag-interact ka sa kanila, alamin mo kung ano yung tradisyon nila.
Okay, so yeah, that's the video of the Bohol Anong Kabilin Atong Gibahandi program. We're actually now that we actually the communities were affected by the pandemic, but we tried to we're on the process of developing a digital production with them. So hopefully you can join in and watch and just follow us on our Facebook page so that you can see how these communities continue despite this pandemic. So now using the in the form of the digital realm. Okay, next is I'll share about a very brief the Dagohoy the musical or the Gunsa Hoyohoy the musical. Just a context, before this was created in I think 1997 in the provincial with the partnership of the provincial government of Bohol to do this production to highlight that the Boholanos has something to be proud of. Because at that time, there was a notion that Bohol has no good qualities. For example, it's the land of helpers. And that was based from a local cultural historian and some researchers that they've gathered at that time. So when you mention Bohol, people would say, "Ah, okay, it's they have very good maids at that place." So with the use of arts, the what do you call this? The Teatro Bulanon at that time through Sir Gardy Laban created this musical with Sir Marianito Luspo as a local historian to give pride to the Boholano people that hey, we had this hero who fought for the longest time in the whole Philippines against the Spaniards. So you have a Dugong Bulanon, you have the blood of the Gohoy, who was a hero who did not who stood up against oppression. So that's what we should be proud of. So they've used the Gohoy as a central character for that transformation or realization or rebirth of cultural identity. Okay. So yeah, this is the actually we have 1997 production, but last 2040 I 2000 we remounted it, but it wasn't in the traditional performance style or the costumes. We wanted to be more impressionistic and more stylistic in a way so that we can catch the attention of the viewers because before it was 2 hours, now it was I think 1 hour, 45 minutes, only 45 minutes, full of dance, full of singing, and yeah, full of symbolism. So I'll just go back on a process that we do here in the mounting of. We've had to do research to really know the story, to to see what are the remaining stories now, and to have a collective study to what are the different stories about the Gohoy. Then we've undergone some training on dance. We had Kuradang Kuradang and Pangalay as our training as our main dances, and then supported by cultural contemporary dance from our French choreographers, and then the mounting, the devising, the production, and then the rehearsals to the performance, and then we're very happy that this production was invited to different towns and provinces in the Philippines, and it also had the chance to go to Korea last year, and a lot of people were amazed about the production. And well, we're actually planning to do this next week in the new normal setting. So I don't know how will that work. Maybe the Goy will be wearing mask or even face shield. So we'll be posting some pictures about that. Okay. So next, so here is some of the pictures. For those who don't know, sorry, I forgot to mention. Wait. Dagon sa Hoyohoy is the story of Francisco Dagohoy. It's about one of the community leaders at the time of when the Spaniards came. At that time, the Spaniards wanted that all of the locals would be in an area where they can only hear the sound of the bell from the belfry. So every time, if you can't hear that, you're outside the confines of the church and you're considered as a renegade. So one of his brother, the Gohoy's brother, went to uh, to fetch some of their leaders who's practicing animistic ritual because that was the belief before the Spaniards arrived. And then after that, accidentally the brother was killed, and the priest didn't allow the burial of the brother because it was he was killed by a renegade, and he insinuated the fight. So the priest didn't grant the burial. So the Gohoy really had felt really bad and hurt, and suddenly turned into anger, and then he promised that he would fight for his brother and take revenge for what the priests do for not giving him the burial rites. So he launched he launched a fight against the Spaniards, and it was, I think, 85 years of revolution, always fighting with the Spaniards and the priests, to the point that they had to bring some of the some of the armies from different islands just to stop the army of the Kohoy. And yeah, at the we I feel so emotional a bit because at the last part, one of the values that the production was promoting, that even though we're at a hard times, in our hard times, we should still continue to sing the song of our people. So that's the song on the last. I think some of our participants here have seen it. Yeah, so here it is. It is very some of the movements that we've created. It is not really realistic, so it was more on the stylized. So we've mixed pangalay, the folk dance, and the contemporary dance together to create this hybrid choreographic and acting a piece. So I would like to show you an excerpt of the production. Forgive me if my if my hair wasn't still at the same time. It's more like a Korean hair, the oppa hair. So please play the video, Miss Ons.
Padayon ng saluma, gipalanog sa lalawigan ng singgit sa giyatagan. Maumabisan way igong hinagipan, kuya na pang kalimukan, nagmadaon ang katawan. Yan na ang adlaw sa panudya, panahon ng katawhan magmaya. Gunubon ang babag sa kagawasan, tukuro ng bantayog sa katarungan, ni palanog kini sa kapupudan ng kaluwasan. Ani ana ang dugay ng pangandoy sa akong mga katigulangan. Ulatag nga karon sa panahon na tumanra kining tanan. Ani ana, ani ana.
Okay, so I think that's the excerpt of the performance. So let's go back to my PowerPoint. Yes, okay. So here's the next, wait, okay. So you just witnessed the performance, and also I would like to share some I know it's a lot to process. What I've just mentioned on what are the experiences that we did. I really wanted to share everything, but I only had this small time. Pero I hope you got something from it. I just would like to share some insights that I had as a 25-year-old cultural worker and artist director here in Bohol. I think that sorry, wait, nag-next siya kalit. Okay, as an actor, we have as theater artists, we have a very big responsibility on how we can promote and help the preservation, conservation, and promotion of our local cultural heritage using theater, because we need to be more, they call this, relatable, enjoyable, I mean, entertaining for the audiences. And we need to create more materials to showcase all of these stories, because it's all written in the books, and the social media, the globalization is leveling up, and our way of teaching and showing the culture of a place should also level up. And I think with performance, performance can also level up. But I mean, this interaction, the intimacy of a performance, knowing and maybe relating to some of the points that were being, to some of the lines or some of the scenes that were being shown, I think it has a strong impact and contribution on how we can really keep on passing on the value, the memories, the story of a certain heritage object, or even place, or even an icon. So that is one of my insight as a theater artist, and also as a facilitator and teacher. We need to create more activities to learn how to teach all of this what they call this, heritage treasures, on how to teach them, for example, how to make jewelries, how to make baskets, because there's a big shift now that doing this kind of things is something that some of the youth are not proud of it, or maybe some of the parents would prefer that their child should go to school and go to abroad. So we really need a big army, a cultural army, to show the value of our heritage, that it is not something that we can that should be ashamed of, and that it cannot give us how do you say this, it won't give us a big income, but it could help in our economic stability. And I think I sometimes I feel so sad whenever I see an old woman who's the last maker of jewelry, and then she always mentioned that people won't like this job because it is not a blue collar job, or it is not something with a profession. You can consider it as a profession. So that is one of my vocation, that to showcase, to show that this work are still valuable. It cannot it may not be as gratifying for a big salary, but it can they call this the longer effect of knowing this skill and teaching it to others is more impactful for the community. So I think we all have this responsibility on continuing this culture and idea. So I think, yeah, I just have some points to discuss. One is, I think strengthening the local culture of a town or of a place can actually guide the development that it wants to go to. For example, the tourism. A lot of investors can just build buildings and the locals would agree to it because they also earn. But what if imagine a community who's very passionate about preserving their site because this is where the area that our ancestors planted their root crops, or even this is where my house was built. So those kind of ideas, we really need to strengthen the minds also and the knowledge of our people as we go to the communities, because a lot of outsiders can just dictate that this is your history. And I think now in this time that we are being flooded with fake news, we need to train a lot of young people to know what is their history, to know what is real, and to how to identify what is fake from real. So those kind of stuff. And be grounded, because this globalization with the use of with the emerging of technology, we can easily get lost and have a hybrid of and not really know what do we have, what are we, who are we. So another point maybe for the last is uh, heritage can is using the arts, we can still continue on the promotion of heritage or knowing the value of a certain stuff, because we should always find the story or relate to it, find the connection. For example, uh, how would I relate to this river if I don't know the story of it? Something like that. So I think we should always facilitate the finding of the value, if I'm right, do I make sense? Finding the connection or the value of that stuff, and then maybe we can spark a little bit of ideas to our participants and also to our communities on how they can work hard to keep that and to be proud of what they have, and not give in to to the wrong way of development or change. So I think if you have, I think I'm gonna give it back to Ona. That is my whole presentation. So I know it is really a lot. I've been talking a lot, and I hope you got something from it. So I'll give it now to Nikki to facilitate our open forum.
All right. Thank you very much, Jerry Aguilar. Can we give our speaker tonight a round of applause? You can use your hands. You can also send. You can use the button available in your chat box. Just check the settings. Thank you very much, Jerry, for sharing with us your rich and wonderful experience as a cultural worker, a young, no, leader in the cultural scene of Bohol. And I hope that this has inspired our participants tonight. No, that there is spark, no, in created in them about valuing heritage as part of our lives. So at this point, friends, we will open the floor for some questions because this is now time for open forum. So you can write your questions on the chat box, and you can also raise your hands. I will be scanning through the screen to check who is raising their hands. Questions to Jerry about their work, heritage work, cultural work. Anyone? Please show your video, or please turn on your camera so that I can see you and navigate through the screen. All right, so the floor is now open for some questions. We have Jenaline. Were you saying something, Jenaline? No, no. Anyone from?
Okay, Nikki, I think we have a question in the chat box.
Okay, I'll check that out. What? Okay, we have a question from Sir Floral. What are the things we should consider in creating a musical play that is based on a myth, legend, or story of a place?
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that wonderful question. Okay, Floral, Miss Floral. Okay. So I
That's
think
Sir Floral from Baguio.
Okay, I think what we should I mean from my experience, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm still young. Well, I think you should first know why you are doing it. I think that will guide on what information would you like to your audience to know. So I think, yeah, that's why do we want to do this musical, and why this legend, why this myth. A lot of questions about why do we have to do this. And then if you've already set that, I think now is the time on knowing naman the details, or do a research, to research really on what are the different stories about this. And sometimes we have lot of stories about history, to weigh what is more how do you say this, sometimes it can be what is more accurate, or sometimes what is more popular to the audience, or what do they know, if we're actually if we're promoting the story. So I think that's it. One, yeah, to know why do you want to do it, and then to also do research, and then know your audience, because it will always come to what are the type of audience that you have. I think one that we did, because one basis that that I have now is, before they did the Gonsa Hoyohoy, the musical, but it wasn't in this stylized way now, because we're trying to cater now on the attention that the audience have, and also about how can we perform it to them, because we're concerned of a lot of people can use cell phones while watching, and I mean in our setting of theater here in Bohol. Pero with this kind of performances that we have dances, we have singing, so we can easily attract the attention. We were able to maintain the attention. So I think that's it. One is I'll go back again. Sorry, why do we need to do it? Then second is know more about it. Three is to whom are we performing it? And then four is to, I guess, to make it more, how do you say this? I'm a little bit overwhelmed about that. Pero I'll just check it again. Wait lang ha. Okay, so I'm full of wondering questions. Okay, so I think those three, and how to I know who we are performing it, and what is the type of performance that we want to do it. Is it in a realistic way, or in a stylized way, musical, expressionistic, so performative? So yeah, I think it will always fall down to why are we doing this, and to whom are we performing it. So I think I hope I answered that. If any of our listeners
Yeah.
the
Thank
idea.
you very much, Sherry, for responding to that question. Yeah, and I think it's very important as theater makers to really do a research. And Jerry mentioned about it, or knowing more about it is doing research as well. And yeah, your goals and objectives for coming up with such a performance. Thank you very much, Sherry. We have another question. Um, Sir Jomar wrote here, I'm quite interested on the response of the community with this project as a performer and as an audience. So, can you
Yeah.
share to us, Jerry?
Okay. I'm how do you say this? I don't know if I'm always flattered whenever I go back to our communities, go back to the communities that we've worked with, because when we go back, hello, this is for me. This is an indicator that we were able to have a connection with the projects that we have. For example, hello, Kuya Jire, you're back again. When are we gonna do this? What is the next step? What is the next project? And we've prepared a project here. We have an activity. Can we invite you to come over and perform? So those kind of feedbacks. And then I think another indicator is whenever we perform for the community, a lot, for example, last July, we were able to perform some performances in the social media platform. And a lot of our balikbay, I mean OFWs who are watching from their homes in other countries, have been typing that I'm so happy that I'm seeing this legend, this story again being performed by young people. I guess that's a good indicator also. Then third is also whenever you see some of the participants that we had or some of the partners that we have who are now more vocal about their or more knowledgeable and vocal about defending what do they have as cultural workers. I mean, as artists and performers, that they do more research. So I think those are some of the indicators that I'm seeing that how this community are responding to it. So I hope I answered that.
Yes. Thank you very much, Jerry, for sharing that. And so it just means that the community is responding well to these projects that you are doing. Now, you have been receiving positive feedbacks from your community, and I hope that this will continue, no, in the province of Bohol and, of course, the whole of Philippines. All right. Shall we read another question? We have from Marinel Palaganas. How do you deal with the space you're given? What is the hardest part of using various spaces like basketball courts, etc.? How do you plan it for it? And thank you. Keep question mark. Yeah, so how do you plan for it? No? So she's referring to the spaces that you have been given working with.
Okay. Sige. Siguro in our experience, what we did with our workshops, first, yeah, sometimes we have training centers, but when we go to the communities for their eco workshops, sometimes the community can offer a really good training facility or training space, but we don't complain about it. We work with what they have because for us, we think that it's more important that the transmission of the idea should be there, but we need to reinforce in terms of how do we maintain the attention of our participants? How do we maintain the attention of our artists and actors in the rehearsals, given that these areas are more open? So we need to reinforce with more facilitators, setting the rules and guidelines, and being more proactive with the activities that we do. Because, and also for the facilitators to lower the expectations that sometimes we need to work with what we have in the communities. And I learned that in a hard way in 2013. I almost I cried because I'm frustrated because there's no this and that and this. And then Sir Gardy said, sorry, this is how you work in a community. And that grounded me on why we should do this and not think of formal theater venues as the only venues for us to learn arts or theater. So I think that's it for that question. I hope I answered that, Ms. Marinel. Maybe some of our Kasing Sining members who are at the chat now can also type in on your experiences. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jerry, for responding to that question. No, no, and we resonate so much to you because we are also a community theater. You know, we always work with what's given. No? There is no room, no, to complain about it. Just work around it. So yeah. Um, so we will proceed with another question. So, um, Jerry, a question from me, no? What were some of your challenges as a young cultural worker promoting heritage, and how did you cope up with these challenges?
Sorry, again.
What were, as a young cultural leader or cultural worker, what were some of your challenges or some of the challenges that you encountered in promoting heritage, and how did you cope up with these challenges?
Okay. I think one is being a young person in this kind of work. It's sometimes it's hard because a lot of people won't listen to you, and it takes time for people to actually listen to you and to know that you're really passionate and what do you call this? Yeah, passionate about what you say and what you do. So yeah, I think one challenge is that I had a hard time letting people hear some of my ideas, and also second that I can, how do you say this? I can already stand up on my own here as a cultural worker, and third, I guess I think this would also resonate to some of us. It's the question of, is cultural work or being an artist a real job? Would it sustain you? So up until now, I'm on my 25 years old, and I'm still having those kind of questions. And they've been seeing how I work naman in social media. That's why I keep on promoting some of the works to say that, hello, meron naman, we are doing something, and we have lots of activities that we can do, something like that. So those are the challenges that I usually face. So the question of sustainability, the question of being heard, of being able to take the responsibility, something like that. Pero slowly it will pass. Time will come that you will be heard. Time will come that your ideas will be considered, something like that. So I think you need to be more trained. I mean, to grow more and reach that level of being able to be believed in. Yeah, I think so. That's the idea.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Yes, and I understand some of those challenges, no, but as a young leader, we just have to stand, on what we believe and really assert on these things. So yeah, there's an interesting question here also from Mayumi Maghuyok. How can you most effectively stylize a traditional or folk tale while keeping its cultural aspect present yet being more appealing for different audiences? And also, nice to see you again. So that's from Mayumi.
Hello, it's Mayumi. Okay. Well, that's a very tricky question because as artists, as we interpret some of our work, some of existing works or stories, we need to be careful also that maybe it is what do you call this? That we should be careful of interpreting it in a way that it is not offensive to the actual owners or the community who owns that story. We need to have a consultation with them. If we perform it in this manner, is it okay? Because I think that sometimes as theater actors, we are performers of the stories, but sometimes the question is, who are you to voice out sometimes, or who are you to perform this story for us? So I think it would always come to the consultation if this kind of stylization is okay, and maybe explain also to the community that this is to why the intention of stylization, something like that, to have a clear understanding of why you are doing it, and be careful on creating. And I think that, oh yeah. Yep.
Thank you very much, Jerry, for emphasizing that. No, that is very, very important. A very important step in theater making, especially when it comes to traditional and folk tale. No, to really go into dialogue with the community who owns it, diba? And come up with an understanding on how to approach or how to attack this kind of performance. So thank you very much, Jerry, and thank you, Mayumi, for that wonderful question. There is a follow-up question from Sir Florel. Di ba? He was asking about how do we create a musical out of a myth, no? And then he has a follow-up question. Um, how did you do the research so as to supplement the story that you have for the script? Can you give us brief steps? Na brief lang, Dereha. Because
Okay.
sometimes it is a bit risky in dealing with a story based of a culture, and we might be wrong in our own interpretation of the story, and it might create misconceptions and misunderstanding of the specific tribe where the story came from.
Siguro, yes, sir. I agree with you. Siguro, we have as performers and as directors and as creators, we have very big responsibility on the credibility and accuracy of the performance that we're giving. So, siguro, I think with the research that we did with the Gohoy, first is we invited cultural historians. Second is we've read existing materials about it. And third is to actually if it's a long time ago story, and we go to the community where it originated. And so I think those three, from cultural historians who are in the place, second, or in the place or in the town, or who would know better about it, maybe from the national also. Second is to read existing materials. And the third is to have a consultation with the community where it originated, to have a more basis or grounding if where should we take this story. I think that that is one of the process that you can also use. So based on our experience.
All right, thank you, thank you very much, Jerry. No? So invite cultural historians, no, and do proper research, and of course, again, consult with the community of origin. That is very, very important. In connection to Mayumi's question, also, so very, interrelated. Okay, are there more questions from our? Oh, okay. Regina. Okay, I'll read Regina's. What advice can you give to those who want to pursue a career in the field of heritage?
Okay. Okay. Hi, Regina. Regina is my batchmate in high school. She plays violin and she's from Bohol. Anyway, advice for heritage. Well, I'm not really in the position to give an advice, pero siguro as an advocacy as a cultural worker on doing more of the heritage, you'll see, to say this, at the end of the day, it is rewarding for us cultural workers to see that the question of is arts and heritage and culture really essential, and then you see that people talk about it and people can relate to it, and sometimes people can already reconnect to the story. So I think it will be a rough and hard and medyo I don't know, there's a lot of politics and heritage, but the love for heritage and doing it is based on their passion, I think so. So yeah, I don't I hope I'm answering the question. So advice. Pursue a career. Look into the beauty of the community that you want to be involved with, or to the work that you want to do. So I think that's the rough or advice that I can give, because without the proper passion, I mean without the heart for doing this kind of work, I think it will be very hard. Something like that. See, I hope I was able to answer that, Regina.
Thank you, Jerry. No, from casting scene of art with the heart. No, so it's very important to pursue a career in the heritage preservation. Then a heart is very, very important. Make sure that you love to do it. Yes. Thank you, Jerry, and thank you for that, Regina. Do we have another question from our participants? You may just raise your hands if you have not written in the chat box.
Okay. So, if you have any questions about the process or clarifications, I can
Yes,
help.
he can raise those concepts. All right, so I think there are no more questions for our guest speaker. No, so let me just give you a brief summary, no, of what has happened. And Jeray shared to us his journey and his experience, no, as a cultural worker, as a young leader in Bohol, and he emphasized that heritage preservation is very important because it helps us in preserving our identity as people and as a community. And um, it's also very important that we as young people recognize the value of heritage preservation, and that on a personal note, I hope that this has what you call has sparked something in you um, um, in working towards heritage preservation. No, one level is appreciation of it, um, and then I hope that we can become advocates of it. So thank you very much for being with us tonight. I'd like to specially mention our participants from the overseas, like Brunei and Bangladesh and Singapore. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, Brunei, we have Joanna Kwan. We have, um, sorry, I'm trying to scan here. We have Mary, how do I say it again? Abidin from Bangladesh. Hanis from Singapore. We have Buds Theater. So thank you very much. And of course, thank you to all the participating schools and organizations from the Philippines. And I hope that tonight has been a very insightful session with you. Again, would like to thank Jerry David Aguilar from Kasing Sining Bohol for sharing with us his journey and work as a cultural worker. And we'd like to remind everybody that your certificates will be sent via email. And we look forward to having you here again or in on stage for our next webinar, which will be on Theater for Change. And this will be facilitated by Claire Divine of Buds Theater Singapore. Remember the date, September 25, 2020, the same time. Okay. So the Philippines has already shared and has taken part already in the onstage project. Now it's the time for Singapore to share what they have, and then after Singapore, Japan, groups from Japan. We will also would also like to remind everyone to please fill up the evaluation form sent in the chat box. Thank you all very much. Okay. Again, we'd like to inform everyone that our organization, the Youth Advocates to Theater Arts Oriata, is a nonprofit organization, and we mostly rely on support from our partners and other individuals to help us sustain our work with children and young people in various communities. And again, we'd like to thank the Japan Foundation Manila for giving us this opportunity in implementing on-stage project, no, on-stage webinar for free. Now we are so fortunate to have this webinar for free through the help of the Japan Foundation Manila. So we'd like to ask for your help, no, help us reach the underserved communities by making a donation. Any amount will do to help us sustain our creative efforts. So just see our bank details below. It's the Bank of the Philippine Islands. Right, so before we go, can we have a group photo? Please turn on your cameras and show us your energetic smiles. You can strike a pose. Please turn on your cameras, everyone. We'd like to see you. Again, will also like to thank those people who have been with us consistently, from the very first webinar of the Onstage project. Thank you. A special mention to Kuya Eric from Iloilo, our speaker last session, Ron. Of course, Sir Gardy Labad, our stage parent, like Sir Eric is. Of course, Claire Divine, thank you very much. Okay, so cameras on. We will have a group photo. First set. Okay. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, and start.
Go, Nikki.
Second set. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and last one. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Strike a pose. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you all very much for sharing your time and energy with us tonight. We hope to see you again on September 25 for our next Onstage webinar. Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Salamat. Amping mo.
Yes, from the Philippines, maraming salamat po.